I want to focus right now for about 10 minutes on problems that happen at school.
Much of the conflict that occurs in the intermediate grades is between students.
Problems that you've had, but problems that happen at school and how they're handled. And as you give me your answers, I'll write them down. What kind of problems do occur in school? Kagan.
Like when you get tripped and your face hits the mud.
Okay, getting tripped.
A guided discussion is one way to bring attention to commonly occurring school problems.
What else? Chelsea.
Yelling at each other and getting infraction slips.
Developing students' understanding of what causes conflict and ways to resolve it is essential if teachers want students to be part of the solution, not just part of the problem.
Now I want you to think about the fights, the yelling at each other, the cheating, being made fun of, being harassed in some way. Usually, if those kind of things happen with kids, it's teachers, principals, other adults, and parents that have to try to help you solve them. And what usually happens if you do one of those things to get in trouble? What are some things that happen? Maddie?
Detention.
Asking students to identify typical school problems and consequences sets the stage for follow-up interactive group activities that broaden students' understanding of how conflict affects people.
They play about who gets first controller on video games, or robbers, who's the winner.
Here, students focus on what children, adults, or world leaders fight about, and how they try to resolve their problems.
Or they don't need to solve stuff by wars. They solve it by presidents.
Yeah, peace treaties.
The presidents and kings, they talk to each other.
Peace treaties.
This is what you said kids fight about. Candy, video games, money, toys, game cards. Who gets to go first?
Interactive group activities that engage students in learning about and actually experiencing conflict provide common ground and common language that lead to productive problem solving.
And these are some of the ways that world leaders handle it. War, they fight for victory, they fight. Negotiation, conferences, meetings, and court. And I think you can all see that there are some similarities. It's just different levels of fighting about things and different levels of working them out.
This activity provides a way to introduce students to a simple but powerful concept, the 3 P's of conflict: possessions, personal space, and put-downs.
I want you to pick something out from the chart and tell us which category it goes in. Does it go in possessions, personal space, or put-downs? Amber?
They fight about countries.
Okay, if they fight about countries, which one of these P's is it about?
Possessions.
It's possessions and also what else?
Personal space.
That's right, it's in both of those categories. Andre? Food.
A variety of problem-solving experiences help students think about conflict in new ways.
Your group of 3 will get a bag of M&Ms, and there are 7 in here. You're going to divide them between no more than 2 people. It's okay for one person to end up with all of them. But in your group, you're going to have to decide how to divide them up.
Situations that engage students in controlled conflict challenge their problem-solving skills and deepen their awareness of how conflict affects their behavior.
3 for blank. But we need to split it up, including you, me, and you.
Students try different ways to divide the candy.
You can't cut them.
Oh, we can't?
Can't cut them.
Oh. How about we just do rock, paper, scissors, and whoever loses at the end doesn't get it. All right, let's just do that. Is that fair? All right, handshake.
Rock, paper, scissors is the most common strategy.
We went rock, paper, scissors.
No.
Conflict begins to occur when students realize their strategies aren't really helping them solve the problem to everyone's satisfaction.
You have to try talking us out of giving it to you. What? Well, how do you guys both get him anyways?
For many students, frustration mounts as they struggle to find a solution. Activities like this reveal the messy nature of conflict and underscore the need to help students develop constructive ways to deal with it. Giving students time to talk about what happened in their groups is essential to making this a productive experience.
So I want you to write down 3 things that you can think of that you learned about conflict in your group of 3. Conflict means when you have a problem with another person, something that you have to solve. So what did you learn about problems with each other?
When students encounter conflict in a supportive environment, they gain valuable insights into the challenges of dealing with difficult situations.
Okay, finish the statement you are on. Jesse? In just a moment, when I tell you to start, I'm going to ask person number 1 to try to get your fist open.
Some problem-solving opportunities need to lead to positive solutions.
Turn toward your partner. Number 2 will have a fist. Number 1 will try to get your fist open. And then when we're all done, you'll tell me how you got the fist open. So I'm going to be watching you and seeing the different methods that you try. So would you begin, please? In the Make a Fist activity, students are challenged to open someone else's fist. And they went at it thinking that they had to really force that person to open the fist.
Your face is getting purple.
This is how some people handle problems. They try to force it and they work at it so hard and they can actually hurt each other by trying to solve a problem. I'd like you to think right now of how you could possibly get someone to open their fist up without you having to force it.
When students are encouraged to think outside the box, their solutions become more creative.
Okay, Michael, have you been thinking about it? Okay, I'm going to put my fist here, and you have to show us how you can get me to open my fist without forcing it.
Will you please open your hand?
Yes, I will.
Yep.
How did you think of that?
Just off the top of my head.
Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Let's give him a hand. Yay! After we got all finished, they start thinking of other ways that they can work together with someone instead of just forcing it. And make sure that you say it loud enough that everyone can hear.
Okay, shake my hand.
Oh my goodness. Boys and girls, remember that in class meetings, we're here to solve problems.
Class meetings provide a forum for dealing with student issues and solving problems.
I use class meetings for 3 main reasons. One is to give and receive compliments, one is to solve problems, and another is to plan events. And remember, we need to hear all of you, and we need to hear your thank you when you are appreciated. So we'll let Amber take over.
Take 30 seconds to think of a compliment. Float.
Starting each class meeting with student compliments builds a critical environment of trust and teaches students to listen to each other.
I'd like to appreciate Jimmy and Kagan for doing their work more and participating in all the stuff that needs to be done.
Thank you.
I've been using class meetings for a number of years now, and it's such a vital part of our classroom. I use them because it teaches students how to compliment each other and how to receive a compliment, that when you get a compliment, you say thank you. It seems so basic, but still we do need to teach it.
I'd like to appreciate Trey for being my friend.
Let's go back, because I want Lupita to say that again so that Trey can give her a real polite response. So
I'd
go
like to
ahead.
thank Trey for being my friend.
Okay.
And you say thank you.
Thank you.
We have an agenda that we use in class meetings. Students are allowed to put things on the agenda. They may put something that they'd like to plan. They also may put problems on there that they want to solve.
David throwing food.
Yeah. I saw people throwing food in the cafeteria, and
They usually like throw the bread, but
Students start by identifying the source of the conflict
not to mention they dip it in
and their attempts to solve it.
barbecue sauce and ranch dressing and things like that.
David, why is this a problem?
Because it like splatters everywhere and it goes on your shirt and stains and stuff.
One of the first questions I'll ask is, what did you do to try to solve it? Have you done anything to try to solve the problem?
I asked the people to stop, but they just kept doing it.
Okay. I would like you to think about if you have seen this happening, and we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll get to the solution. In class meetings, when problems are brought up, we really stress that this is a time for solutions, not blame.
I have seen people do throwing stuff at other people, trying to start food fights and stuff. I don't want to mention any names, so
I'd like to have that. Okay, boys and girls, remember that in class meetings, we're here to solve problems and find solutions and not blame people. And it's so important that we do mention names, because no one's getting in trouble now. You are going to solve the problem. I'm not going to get anyone in trouble.
Well, some of those people were me and Trey, because we're the ones who would like already start throwing food.
Now, as a teacher, when I hear that kind of thing, my tendency is want to jump in and lecture them and tell them that is not right, they need to stop it, and you're going to get in trouble if you do that. But instead, it's a beautiful thing when I say, no, we need to bring up names because this is how we solve the problem.
I just want to ask if anybody will just confess that they've done it, and if they have, can they raise their hand right now?
And one after another, they started raising their hands and admitting, yes, I've done that. I've done that. I've thrown food and I realize it's wrong. Instead of me being the boss and telling them what's going to happen to them, they have this conversation with each other and they admit that they were doing that wrong. And then they try to come up with solutions. I want you to think, because I don't want to be the one that says, okay, you're in trouble. You're so much better at this and you can solve the problem. So right now we're going for solutions.
they give us a choice in the cafeteria of what we want. So if you don't want the bread, just say no thank you, or yeah, and just don't take it.
A lot of the people in the cafeteria throw it on your tray and then say no gimmies.
It's important that several students be given the chance to make suggestions.
Throwing it back to them. So if they keep doing it, just throw it away. And then if they say they wanted it, just say, well, you obviously didn't want it that much because you tossed it on my tray.
Teachers play a critical role in class meetings. They move students to find solutions, and they teach new skills in the process.
I want to show you something that you can do, and we're going to practice it. It's called I statements. You are going to give a person an I statement. You're going to say to that person, I don't like what you're doing. It's disgusting. It bothers me, and I want you to stop. You're expressing your feelings. You use an I statement. You might say, to you it's funny, but to me it's disgusting. If it doesn't stop, you put it on the agenda. You can be an example to each other and to other classes that we treat each other respectfully in here. Even though I know students aren't always kind and respectful to each other, if you teach them the words to say, teach them the respectful way to say something to someone, then it gives them that practice. And let's pretend that this is the food.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you're sitting next to each other, and David's having a good time here.
Dip it in
and the
your
rest of
sauce.
us are watching them.
The gimmies. No!
Okay, and so David, he tried to ignore it, but he threw it away. So let's say that you do it again. And he ignored it and it didn't work. So Marty, you're going to say something to him.
I don't like what you're doing. It's really disgusting and it bothers me.
And I want you,
And I want you to stop.
and then you can tell him what's funny.
Well, it's funny.
It's not really funny to me because I'm getting hit by food dipped in barbecue sauce.
It's so vital in our society that students and people learn how to get along with each other, learn how to talk to each other, and say how they feel about something and why, rather than getting mad, gossiping behind their back, that kind of thing. And so then, Marty, you can tell him, I want you to stop, and if you don't stop, I'll have to report you to an adult.
I want you to stop, and if you don't stop, I'll report this to an adult.
If you have tried these things,
Regularly scheduled opportunities to discuss real problems and develop workable solutions will enhance intermediate grade students' problem-solving skills.
remember, putting it on the agenda is not getting somebody in trouble. It's a way to solve a problem.
The first thing you need to do is your Lit Circle reading for today.
By teaching and reinforcing classroom expectations, helping students learn different ways to deal with conflict,
Oh my goodness.
and using a repertoire of strategies to redirect minor behavior problems,
Okay, what's the problem here?
intermediate grade teachers can keep their students focused on learning and achieving.
Good. Okay.